My loves, I am delighted to introduce you to the oven calendar come note card holder. On the sides here we've got these rails that hold this folding removable tea towel. We've got an oven glove, we've got some tools, and we've got another tea towel on this side. Inside the oven, I don't know, can you see this shiny front? There you go, of the oven there. We've got a glass front on the oven. Pull this down. Inside the oven we've got these delightful little cards in this baking tray. Each of these cards has a little cookie item on it, a little cake or other baked item. There you go. And that they all live in the oven like that. And then at the back of the oven, tucked in a slot, we've got all the months of the year. Like I say, you don't have to use it as a calendar. You can use it just as the little note cards that come with the kit, these plain cards as well. Or you can tuck those behind your months so you've got extra writing spaces there. Folk art enamel was the inspiration, and the back has got this lovely folk art panel on it as well. So come with me and let's see how we make this really tactile, really whimsical, fun little thing. Right, my dears, now I usually show you all my bits and bobs cut out. I use a Cricut machine. If you're not familiar with them, that's what this bounding box is here. And I've got a video on how to make all my pages work with Cricut machines. If I forget to link this video in the description, just type my name, Emma Parish, followed by Cricut into YouTube's search bar and you'll see the video. Right, so I'm all set up. Now, on a Cricut machine or other cutting machine, you want to remove the white background, and there's also some other bits and bobs you need to remove as well. So I'll just quickly go through those. You've got the centre of this oven here, that's going. You've got this white area here, that's going. You want those little bits. I've put them in there so I can fit them on the page nicely. You've also got this white area here, that's going. That's another little bit of printable that you need to keep. And then you've got this white background here. That's quite straightforward. I've got a bit of a printer issue. At the moment I couldn't print these. I wasn't going to print these out again because they're acceptable. They'll certainly do for this kit and this video. You've got another one here, white background removal and white background removal. Now, another point to note on this is that I will take all of my pages into my Cricut machine, set it up so they all shrink down proportionally. But some of the pages I won't cut out on the Cricut machine. And for this kit, it's going to be this one and it's going to be this one because they're squares. I'll do that on my paper trimmer, on my guillotine, and I'll do those whilst the other pages are printing out. And I think that's all I need to say about that. I'm going to go ahead and Cricut all of these and print and cut the other ones out as well. I'm on 250 gram throughout and I'm not reverse printing. And if you're unfamiliar with cutting machines but you're quite interested and you're thinking of getting one, more and more people are getting them now. All my kits can be hand cut as well. Do bits on your paper trimmer, bits that you can't do, you need to fussy cut by hand. So this is a Cricut mat and it's a sticky mat. Mine's coming to the end of its life now. And you just line this up on the edges here and squeegee it down. You've printed this out via the Cricut software, it's called Design Space, into your printer. Then you feed this mat into your Cricut machine and set it up to print. And it's lots of fun. And if you are thinking about a Cricut machine, if you want to do heavier materials like chipboard or something like that, go for the Cricut Maker 4. If you just want to do paper and card, go for the Explore 4. I've just updated mine to the Explore 4. I did have the Maker before, but to be honest with you, I didn't need all the extra functionality. The Explore 4 is about half the price of the Maker 4, and oh my goodness, it's so fast, it's so good. I'm so pleased with it. I can highly recommend it. Right, let's go. So here's a bit more on the Cricut. I've set it up on my computer. I've now got a little flashing light here. I'm going to press that, it feeds the page into the machine, boom, like that. And when it's ready, another little light will flash, and I'm pressing that, there we go. It's going to feed into the machine, and then it's going to read these black bounding lines, and that takes a couple of seconds. It's just plotting where all the lines are on the page that the software has already sent to the machine. So once it knows where these bounding lines are, it knows where all the other information is within those bounding lines. And then when it's ready to go, it goes really quick. Look how fast this goes. This isn't speeded up. If you're working on an older Cricut, this is quite a revelation too. It's so fast. And there we go. That's that. Right, so here's all my pages cut out. We've got some scoring to do. I'm going to put all of these pages off to one side while I crack on with, let's start with the actual main part of the cooker, which is this page here, and get scoring. Pop those bits there. Now then, this is where the magic happens, right? And I'm not referring to actually putting this thing together. I'm referring to me remembering how I designed it, because if a little bit of time passes between me designing it and me actually making it up, I've been around the goldfish bowl a few times and my menopausal brain doesn't like thinking about those kinds of things. Right, so I've scored those lines that you've seen me score. You've got marks on your kit there. I keep them as faint as I possibly can for you, but you'll be able to see those. And we're scoring in these V's here, going across those on this page, and all the way down the edges as well, these tabs here. That's that one. Let's score this page while we're here. We've got these little bits and bobs. I think that's all we need to score. These are the sides of the oven. We don't need to score those. The other little bits on that page are little bits, and they can hang fire until we've actually got the oven put together. That's it. I haven't got a score on that one. Right, okay. That's not too score heavy, is it? Let's get folding now all of these pieces in the first instance. There's one I've forgotten. Look already. All these pieces in the first instance, we're going to fold white side to white side. If you object to white paper, reverse print your pages by all means, using an aged paper backing sheet or a cream or whatever you fancy. You'll have one in your stash. Of that I am in no doubt. These little tabs we're folding inwards as well. There, I might get a fold ring for this, guys, just to give myself some nice sharp folds, like how the professionals do it, which I am one, obviously. There we go. So we're folding all these little tabs onto the inside like that. You want to get those nice and accurate there. And we've also got these scores here to turn into folds where we went in between the V's. I've got one there. The little ones, when they get a bit smaller, I find it quite helpful to fold them up. Did I even do that one? Oh my goodness. I think, yeah, I did. Just not hard enough, I think. Let's go again. Right, scoring those. There we go. This kind of jazz works quite well for me on these narrower pieces. You might not have nails, or you might have nails that you that you don't want to mess about with because they're so lovely. There we go. Turn our scores into folds. and it's a good idea to make sure things are lining up for you. Don't blindly follow your scores, just in case you've been a little bit off. Just check that everything's nice and square. Oops, that one isn't, is it? Look at that. A little better. Right, and at this point, we're ready to put our oven together, I do believe. This piece here also needs folding, doesn't it? This piece here is a little bit delicate, so you don't want to go messing with these pieces here and bending those. You want to make this so that it lines up nicely, and hopefully you don't see any white paper either side. There we go, that's nice. And then you've got this one here. Can't remember which way this wants to fold. Let's fold it inwards for now. You can always turn it the other way. It's never a problem to make a fold go both ways. Unless it is a problem. It isn't here in this case. Right, stop whittering, Emma. Let's crack on. What shall we do? Now, I want to make a little oven door for this. This is our oven door. So you need to grab yourself a little bit of acetate. I've got a bit here from one of my cricut mats, and I'm going to use that. Then I'm going to I can't see the damn thing. I'm going to take myself a bit of that. I'm going to open this up. And I know that this is an absolute devil to cut. I hate cutting acetate. So I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller than my page here and cut this. I really don't enjoy cutting acetate, even though that's gone really, really smoothly and nicely. There we go. And now I'm going to glue this. If I can find it, get that piece out of the way. I'm going to glue this in here. Just check that it's not too big. It's perfect. Well done, Paris. Thanks very much. Let's get this, some glue on here. Doesn't matter if you're gluing on the page with the tab or without the tab, first of all. On the side with or without the tab. It's all the same. Get your little bit of acetate, pop that on. There we go. Then you're going to glue on the other side. You're not gluing the flap's staying as it is for now. Oops. Help that go a little bit tacky. There. Bring these two pieces together. Look at that, that's so cool. And then you've got an oven door. If you want to ink your edges before you even glue it together, that's absolutely fine. You go ahead and do that. That's very sensible. I've got a little bit of white showing there, but do you know what? There's going to be so much going on in this lovely kit. You're not going to mind. You're not going to mind that. So there's your oven door with your glass front. Fabulous. Right, where do we go to next? This piece here is to reinforce this oven door, right? Now then, how have I done this, folks? I've got it upside down, that's what I've done. There we go, so find which way it goes round. There we are, like that. If you want to ink your edges at this point, lose any potential bits of white paper showing through there, go ahead and do that. You can ink on the inside. And if you like getting fiddly with your ink and like being nice, really nice and tidy about it, I find that a good thing to use, I haven't used this one, it's new, are these little eyeshadow applicators, and you can really get in, into your little edges with those if you want to. Right, that's that. Let's do this one. I can ink these edges if I want to when the oven is complete, most of them. Some of them I won't be able to get to. There we go. Right, so make sure this is the right way round. The top is deeper than the bottom, and you're going like this, right? But this piece we're putting in before we glue this piece on. So this is going in here like this. We want to make sure that it will come through to the outside. So if yours is a little bit wide, you might need to trim it down just a tiny little bit, and I'm going to need to. Just a whisker. Let's use a pair of big scissors so we can get a nice straight line. Just a tiny, tiny little whisker off there. Oh, come on, scissors, there we are. Gonna need a bit of ink on there to hide that sin. And just check that out for size. Do it again if you need to. A little tiny bit off each side is better than all off one side, so you keep everything really nice and central. There we go. I did make this exactly the same size as the oven hole because you do want it to be nice and snug. But, you know, printers, Cricuts, cutting out, things do shift ever so slightly. So there we go. There's my oven door, right, like that. Can't remember if I was going to have a closure on this oven door. I don't think I was. I think I was just going to trust to the snugness. There we go. Look at that. That looks really nice. Right, so I'm going to glue that now, like that, with this piece on this side, right? So let's pop some glue on this section here. Stick it in place like this. There, make sure it's all lined up nicely, and then bring this piece through to the front like that. Make sure that this is able to open, altering your position just a little bit if you need to, so that that works nicely like that. And get myself a little bit of ink on there, couldn't I? I could have done that the other way round actually. Doesn't matter, you can do it either way round. It's fine, it's fine. Now we've done that, I can put this reinforcing panel on here, so I'll glue that on. I'll glue onto this piece. You can glue onto either piece, it doesn't matter. And you're gluing over that tab that you've just stuck on there like that. And then this piece with the deepest part at the top will then stick on there. And like I say, that's just for reinforcing so that you've got sturdiness here, because when you come to open this, you don't want this flexing. There we go, I'm happy with that. Right, let's have a look at the shape of these side panels. This is the back. How are we going to work this out now, guys? Let me have a look at it. We're going like that. That's the top of your oven. That's the front of your oven. So this piece needs to fold back around like that. And then this piece is the top of your oven. There is a cut to make up here, and I haven't done that on the Cricut machine because I wanted to reinforce it. I didn't want to actually cut it out. So you can see this little square here, rectangle. Might not show up too clearly on the video, but it's absolutely there. So you want to cut this centre line like that, and then you want to cut this little T section at the end here. You want to cut this little T section at the end here. By all means, use a ruler. I've got a steady hand, so I'm feeling confident. And then you're scoring. I've just turned my craft knife upside down here. You're scoring the two outer edges of this rectangle like that. There. And once you've done that, you're going to fold these tiny, tiny little pips. These tiny, tiny little pips. You're going to fold them to the white side. Difficult to get them. Sometimes, you know, it works to use a ruler. If I find my little ruler, there it is, my little. It works to line that up there like that, and then you've got something to push against there, and you can tuck that back like that. And you're going to pop some glue on these tiny narrow little tabs. I get a lot of questions about my needle tip bottle. I know a lot of people are already onto them and already using them. These I've bought off Amazon. They're needle tipped bottles, that's what they're called, often sold for vape juice, but they're so handy, little refillable bottles. And you can literally draw lines with them, as you see me do on the videos. Really, really good videos. Really, really good. Right, so we're gluing that down like that. It is going to stick, isn't it? Yes, it is. So there we go. We've now got our slot that we're going to put our calendar pages in, and we've got our oven looking something like it's starting to come together. Do you see? Right, so here is the back of our cooker, oven, stove, and we're going to glue it like this to that piece there. So glue on your tab. Stick that in place. And as per for anywhere that's got a glue on a fold, you want to just check that you're folding nicely. Oh, heck. And everything's looking good. There, that looks fine. Right, we're going to just leave that for a second, let that, oh no we're not, we can carry on. And then we're going to turn it over, okay, and this section here, in between these two V's, we're going to pop a bit of glue on. A clever little bit of the design, this, and I'm quite chuffed with it. And my nan always used to say, you don't have to blow your own trumpet, but you do have to let people know you've got a trumpet. So that's that bit. And then we're going to fold that up over there like that. And we're going to fold this back down. We're only folding it back down so that we don't accidentally glue these two pieces together. And we're just going to give that a minute. We're just going to give that a minute before we go messing about any further. Right, I've given that a minute. And now I'm going to take my very last section down here and I'm going to apply glue to that like that. And then I'm going to bring this all the way down, and this last section here is gluing onto this section here. So you can fold the whole thing in half and it will naturally fall in the right place. Just be careful that it does and that it's not wonky. Trust your eyes rather than trust what this is doing up here. There we are, and glue that down. And then your piece will open out like that. It'll do all sorts of silly things like that, but if you push that piece down, you start to get that shape there, which is exactly the shape we need for this. Before I stick these side panels on, I'm absolutely inking. I want to lose these white edges, and they can be tricky to get at once they're glued. So I'm remembering. I'm remembering to ink is what I'm doing. As you'll know, I often get a bit carried away and stick things together before I've remembered to ink them. Right, done it. Let's have a look at this on the side here. Right, I'm going to glue. I'm going to glue all of them all at once. If my glue dries before I'm ready to stick them down, I can always pop a bit more on. But it's nice if they get a chance to go tacky as well. So I'm gluing all of these tabs now on one side. Here like this. And then I'm going to locate the right side, the correct side. Bring this into approximately the right shape and stick this down. And I will have to fiddle and faff to make sure that these edges are all lined up. It really is a faff. Right, let's stick that one on. That's right. Let's bring this down. That's right. That's gone on there like that. These pieces are going to go on like an absolute charm. This one's collapsed in a little bit on itself. What should we do about that? Let's get a tool in there and push that out a little. There we go. That's lovely, that's lovely, that's lovely. And remember, you are making paper crafts. And even though these pieces are cut to be extremely accurate, accept your imperfections. I've got a little tiny bit of one there. I can even go and trim that off if I like afterwards. But that's working really well. That side is stuck on beautifully. Let's do the other side. Yeah, perfect imperfections. And your homespun, home crafts are supposed to be not perfect. Leave those expectations of yourself at the door. It makes life much more pleasurable. Papercraft live coaching coming at you live. There we are. Like I say, my pieces are dead accurate. I designed them down to, you know, tenths of a millimetre. It's ridiculous what I've got going on, but we are human. And I don't know about you, but my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. There we go, stick that one on. I've got a bit of an issue with, let's get you on there and grab there, you guys. A little issue with this this bit wants to collapse inwards a little bit for some reason, but I can just tease that out a little like that, and it's no biggie. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Oh my goodness, I hope I haven't missed anything. There we go. There is your oven. Look at that, it's brilliant. You've got a base to it there. Now the reason we did that, fold it back on itself there, was so that we had a shelf inside that was at the right height. Yes, I know. Right, we're done with the oven. I'm going to put that to one side and I'm going to let it dry. Let's move on to this little box here. And this is your baking tray. And this is a standard kind of box construction. You've got lines to follow. They're faint. And obviously you're working on this grey, this bluey grey, but they are there. So let's just make all of those. Make sure we've made all of those before we put the scoring board away, Parish. Have I done it? Do you know, I don't know. I think I might need a new blinking scoring wheel. I never even thought that that might become an issue. But I'm not feeling some of these scores. It's probably, oh no, I can see them just faintly. I obviously need to do a bit more of this. There we go. There we go, that's got them. Right, and we also need to do a bit of, even if you cut with a Cricut, you need to do a little bit of a hand cutting here. On the side, on these tabs right in the corners here, on the side opposite the angle, you're going to, I always design my cuts to be opposite the angle, because otherwise it can be a bit confusing and it's frustrating if you cut the wrong bit, isn't it? So we're just cutting up to the intersection there like that, and now we can make our little box. Fold these bits to the inside. You've got two folds here like this. You've got one fold there like that, and you've got two folds here like this, and you've also got, of course, your little tabs to fold in as well. There we go. I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to just reinforce all of that in one go. Oh, look, that's not good, is it? Look at that. Get in there a bit more, you. Yeah, I need a new scoring nub, I'm going to call it. A scoring nub on my scoring board. Go on, we'll have a go with that. Right, let's glue. Let's glue these little tabs on the grey side. Thus. Let's also glue these two end pieces here on the two edges. There, let's permit all of that to go tacky, so that we're not faffing about with our box for ages. Oh, it's nice and tacky, that's sticky. Bring up your tabs and your sides, stick those pieces there. Get that all nicely lined up at 90 degrees. This looks good. There. I've got a little problem here that I can see, in so much as my fold is a little bit lower than this piece here, but we'll deal with it. Again, you know, on this kind of small scale, even the scoring nub is quite crude. If you wanted to be like really miniaturist about it, you'd probably use a craft knife to score that, to get that really fine score. But that's worked fine. I can pop a bit of ink on there to lose that white edge. And like I say, if you want to reverse print your kit to lose the white, then you do that. I've learned to embrace white because it makes life a lot easier. I can make my projects quicker than faffing about with reverse printing. So I've learnt to embrace white paper and not try and hide it. And I like that, actually. I like the fact that we are saying that, yeah, this is made out of paper. We're not trying to make it something it isn't, you know. I really enjoy that kind of authenticity. Nice. Right, so there's our little baking tray. And with any luck, our little baking tray will fit inside our oven like a charm. Look at that. I think it was supposed to go the other way. Hang on. Can't remember. It fits in that way, but it's that width as well. So, yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, it does go in that way. It goes in widthways. And then when we've got all our pieces in, I'll just jump ahead a little here now. They fit in the back like that, and your baking tray fits in the front, and there's room behind your baking tray for these to slide down behind. Oh my goodness, look at me being all technical, and does it fit and does it work? But actually, just like, look at that. Look. How good is that? So happy, so happy. Right, let us continue. For your baking tray, you have got lots of little folding cards with cakes and different bits and bobs, different bits of baking bobs on there. So locate all of them, and you're just going to fold these in half, and I'm going to do them by eye. You've got quite a few of these, actually. Can't remember how many. Oh, I remember when I was designing it, I was really frustrated because I had room for 11, but I wanted 12, and I can't quite remember what my solution was for that, but I've got a feeling I'm going to come across it in a minute. So we're folding all of them. I've got some more over here. Oh, there we go. I've got one as a single. Oh, I've got two as singles in actual fact. So now I think you've got 13. I couldn't fit another double on the pages without starting a new page, and that would have been silly. So I've made you two singles as well. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. 10, 11, and your 12th is in two pieces like that. So I did solve it, a bit of a roundabout way, and they fit spine up on your baking tray. Now you can use one of those per month if you want to, extra little bits of information. That's why I gave you 12, but as a little bit of whimsy, you know, just go with that. You don't have to actually use them for what they were intended for, and they fit. Hang on a minute, guys, hang on a minute. Look at this now. We've got our oven, we've got our shiny. Can you see that shining away? Little oven door there. We can open our oven door. We can pop our baking tray inside with all our goodies on. Can you see that? Bad angle for you guys. And we can close the oven door, and there we are. Absolutely fab. Liking it. Right, what do we do next, my loves? Oh yeah, look at this. I've got two little tiny strips here. I'm definitely going to ink those edges. And these... Now let's just get one inked. Oh, it's a fiddle. That'll do. Come out of the oven, little baking tray. These are to go on the side. And these are little rails. And I'm not going to glue all the way along. I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the edge. And on the edge. And I'm going to stick this down up here like this. In a good place. There. And see these here? These are tea towels. I know. Do you call them tea towels in America? What are they called? We call them tea towels. Not dishcloths, because that's what you wash your pots with. I don't know. Maybe you'll tell me. And we're going to fold these in half. Like this. Now my idea was originally, obviously mine isn't dry yet and I'm going to go messing about with it. My idea originally was to pop this through this rail like that, and you can do that if you want to. It's obviously going to stick out a little bit. We can reinforce our fold here like that. Really go for it. That's going to help a lot. And obviously I'm being very delicate with mine because I just put it on. Oh, that's actually quite nice. That's nice. So you've got one for each side of those, and somewhere here as well we've got these little tools, and the idea for these little tools was you to just tuck in them under, or you can stick them on, or if you want to hole punch, you know, you could have those as a little dangle if you want to. I might do that actually. Be a nice little extra, won't it? So yeah, there we go. That's what you're doing with these two little bits here. And like I say, you've got another tea towel, and you've got another one of these to go on the other side. So you can go ahead and do that. And we've got some other little bits here. And this bit, I think really because I had the space on the page for it, and it's really nice to have little extra layers and little extra bits. I've given you two options. You've got one here that's got 2026 on it. Whoops. That can fit down there like that. And you've got a plain one as well. Just as a little extra layer, a little extra texture and level of detail. And I'm going to pop this one on. There we go. But yeah, you've got 2026 that you can stick on there. You could stick it on there as well if you wanted to. I've also got an extra layer of buttons to go on here. So I'm going to pop those on. And I'm inking that just to give that a bit of definition, to let you know that, yeah, there is another layer there. We are really attending to the details, folks. There. Pop that in place. That's nice. And of course everything gives you a little bit more weight and a little bit more rigidity. Oh, here's a fun bit as well. We've also got little rings for our stove. So I'm going to ink them. Do you know what? I might employ one of those little biddies. Bear with me a sec. Let's have a look, see how we get on. I just threw a load of old inky ones away. I've just redone my studio. Oh, that's going on heavy. I don't want it to go on that heavy, really. Hugh, that's my fault. That's my fault. They don't always go on that heavy. I've obviously re-inked my inker and just completely forgotten about it. Yeah, I've just had a big move around of my studio. It desperately needed painting, decorating. It was so grubby. Years of like inky hands on the walls and stuff like that. So I've done that, I've decorated it, I've moved all the furniture around because I've got a new wood burner coming in about a week. My old one was condemned, a chimney sweep came and condemned it for being not complying with current regulations because it was really old. So I've got another one coming next week and I'm really excited. So I've done all the work, I've done the work. My room is ready to go and I can't wait to get crafting with a wood burning stove in the room. How lucky am I? Brilliant. So I'm sticking these on as a little bit of an extra layer, a little bit of extra level of detail. I'm going to glue that. I'm going to glue that. There we are. Don't make a lot of difference to the look, but you know, as a tactile thing, when you hold it and feel it, and you can feel that extra layer there, it all adds a little bit of extra something, doesn't it? Right, we are good to go, my loves. I'm comfy on my chair, hang on. We're good to go. Let's put the lid on my craft knife. Health and safety first. Use all of these things responsibly. But you're all grown women, you know what you're doing. Right, so I've got all my bits here. I've got all my months. Oh, there's another little tool there to stick on. I haven't stuck my other side piece on. Yeah, I might have to treat those in a slightly different way. Don't want those to fall off. But I love those tea towels. I think they're smashing. So I can get these in the right order now. March, April, May. Where's June? July, August, September, October, November, December. Do, if you want to, take time to ink those. They can go in there like that. Your thingy goes in here like this, your baking tray goes in there like that, your oven door closes. Mine's a little bit too tall. I don't know if you can see this on the video. You see it's sticking out over this lip. I could go in there, make that lip a little bit shorter, but I'm going to live with this. So yeah, when you're making yours, I mean, I did already give you the instruction at the time of making that bit of the video to make sure that that sits inside. I could cut the top off, but I've got that nice edge there, so I might just live with it. I might just see if I can bend that round a little, and then, oh, that's given me a little 3D rounded affair. Look at that. I could tuck that in like that. Yeah, I could tuck that in like that quite easily. That'll get used to going in like that. And that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But you make yours the right size so that it can just tuck in and be very snug in there. And these pieces here, you get a page of these. These were designed actually to either take the place of this. If you don't want to use this as a calendar, and you want to use it as a little kind of note holder, print yourself out several pages of these, use these in place of the calendar pages, or use these interspersed with the calendar pages like this, so that you've got more writing space for each month. I think I designed the slit to allow two pieces to go in between each month, so that will then become nice and full and take up the space behind your baking tray there in the oven. There we go, my loves, there we go. Let's tighten this. Oh, that was interesting. There we go. We're done. I've got this other side to put on. Let's have a look at what we've got going on. It is so good. I'm so happy with it. Really, really happy with it. I've done a couple of calendars this year. I've got my toaster, I've got my cooker, I've got my flower vase, I've got my cats, I've got my dogs, and I've got my typewriter. So I've done quite a lot with calendars this year. So each year I aim to update the years on those, so they're good for you year on year. And of course, once you've made one, you're a pro. There we go. Oh, and we've also got this going on the back as well, haven't we? Really pretty, really nice thing, nice to hold. The tea towel obviously is a little tag. We've got one for the other side. We've got our baking tray inside that's got all our little cute minis in it. And who doesn't love a mini? There you go, my loves. I hope you love it. I hope you gift it. I hope it's well received. And I will see you next time.